Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Omaha News. I'm Katie Wagner.
And I'm Ernest Powell. The Cardinals of the Catholic Church have chosen a new pope.
Also, reporter Tasia Velasquez gives us more information on the upcoming OPS board elections. You're watching the Omaha News.
This is the Omaha News, presented by the School of Communication at the University of Nebraska at Omaha, from the studios of UNO Television.
The College of Cardinals have selected Cardinal Jorge Mario Bergoglio of Argentina to be the next pope. Just after 1 p.m. Central Time today, white smoke drifted from the special chimney atop the Sistine Chapel in Rome. An hour later, the announcement came. He is the first non-European pope in the history of the church. And in another first, he has chosen the name Saint Francis of Assisi and will become Pope Francis I. The Pope's first act was to pray for the former Pope, Benedict XVI, who stepped down last month. It only took 3 ballots to elect Bergoglio. The Cardinals were in conclave for over 24 hours, one of the shortest conclaves. Francis I has been the Pope for less than 3 hours, but he has been a cardinal in Argentina for many years. Joining us in the newsroom is Deacon Tim McNeil, Chancellor of the Omaha Archdiocese. Deacon Tim McNeil, what do we know about the man who is now Pope?
Well, we're learning about him. We know that he cooks his own meals. We know he takes public transportation. He's been a bishop for 20 years, a cardinal for about 11 or 12 years, and he spent all of his career in Argentina, kind of just shepherding the people and priests. So he's very humble, very simple background, and so that's right now is we're all trying to learn even more about him.
What is the significance of electing a man from Latin America?
Well, the significance is it is the growth area of the world as far as the Catholic population. And so I think it makes sense that because that's such the growth area, he understands the people, he understands the needs, but he is also the Pope of the Universal Church, so he will rule and he'll shepherd with that in mind.
What does the church need from Pope Francis I?
Well, I think the church and the people need to know, as we all need to know, that Jesus Christ loves us all. And he calls us into relationship, and he wants, so the Pope has to, his biggest task is to lead people in a relationship with Jesus, because frankly, that's why we are here, is to enter into that type of relationship. So he has that immense task of getting us to believe and to internalize that.
Deacon McNeil, thank you so much for joining us today.
Okay, it's been a pleasure. Thank you.
A man died in a fire in Bellevue last night. Fire crews were called to an old Pulsar electronics store near West Mission and Crawford. The building was being used as an apartment complex, and no word yet on which apartment he was living in. Firefighters arrived at this scene just after 11:30, battling the smoke and flames into the early morning. Authorities have not released the name.
On last week's program, we heard from 2 city council incumbents. Reporter Tasia Velasquez provides more information on 2 of the city council's challengers in the upcoming election.
Candidates for Omaha City Council are getting ready for the upcoming election. District 4 candidate Virgil Patlin tells us what he plans to bring if elected to City Council.
We need to bring jobs to South Omaha, especially around this district. I just want to make sure kids have all the opportunities that they need. You know, I live in a district where $25 and $30 is a big thing. So if a child or a young person could make $100, $200 in a month to help buy clothes for school, that's important. So I want to make sure I use the influence of the office to call companies and say, hey, can you put some kids to work? Or do you have some grant money that we can do this with? It's not about making laws, it's about using the influence to bring positive change.
Candidate Jacob Parasso brings a different outlook than his opponents.
For example, in our district, there's big packing plants, there's a lot of factories, and working people are fighting back, trying to defend their livelihood on the job. The line speed is very fast, so workers have fought for unions or have even organized work stoppages or protests to try to force the companies to slow the line down or even give people rights to go to the bathroom. This is a big difference from my opponents, who are both former police officers, kind of defend the wealthy factory owners as opposed to support the struggles that working people are involved in today, which is what we bring to the campaign, what we would bring to the district if elected.
Omaha City Council candidates include Pete Festerson and Ed Trumper for District 1. District 2 candidates are Ben Gray, Bruce Hunter, Timothy Ashford, Tariq Almin, and Dennis Womack. District 3, Chris Durham and J.R. Jasso. District 4, Gary Gernand, Virgil Patlin Sr., and Jacob Perazzo. District 5, Rich Pauls and Jeff Moore. District 6, Franklin Thompson and Phil Klein. And District 7, Thomas Mulligan, Tim Lonergan, Amy S. Milton, Cameron Giles, and Don Krupa. Make your voice heard and vote on Tuesday, April 2nd for your City Council candidate. For the Omaha News, I'm Tasia Velasquez.
If you have questions about the election, contact the Douglas County Elections Commissioner's Office at 402-444-8683.
In February, Governor Heineman signed a bill to redraw district lines to reduce the size of the Omaha Public School Board. Next month, candidates for each new OPS district is appearing on the ballot for the Omaha City primaries. Reporter Kelly Schultz has more.
It might seem like deja vu, but on April 2nd, Omaha voters will be voting again for the Omaha Public School Board members. Legislative Bill 125, which was signed into law by Governor Dave Heineman February 11th, has changed the district lines of the Omaha public school system. The boundaries for the 12 districts have been redrawn to create 9 districts, which will cut 3 seats from the OPS school board.
There are 41 candidates, but only 18 will advance to the election later this year. Marion Fay, the current OPS school board president, has confirmed she will be running for re-election. I currently represent District 9, which is kind of the Dundee Midtown area, and then I'm running for a seat in the new District 3, which is my current district plus the Blondo Maple corridor out to about 104th Street.
Only 5 of the current school board members are running for re-election. Fay will be running for re-election in District 3, which is the only district with more than one incumbent running. 3 of the 9 districts have no candidates currently on the school board. For more information on the new OPS districts and the school board candidates, visit ops.org and votedouglascounty.com. For the Omaha News, I'm Kelly Schultz.
Tune in to the Omaha News on April 2nd for live election coverage on the OPS school board and more.
A man shot by an undercover police officer died late last night. 34-year-old Jason Welch was under investigation with Jennifer Lovings as part of a meth ring. The shooting occurred Friday night in a Walgreens parking lot near 50th and Center Street as Loving rammed into an undercover police officer and the officer opened fire. The car was found using GPS minutes after a major drug bust, with critically wounded Welch inside. The driver of the vehicle, Jennifer Lovings, turned herself in Sunday afternoon.
Coming up after the break, we'll show you how one Omaha museum reminds us of a time when women weren't allowed to vote.
Also, reporter Kevin Grace is in the newsroom to give us a look at the carnage that the 1913 tornado caused in the metro area. You're watching the Omaha News.
PBS is the place you should go first.
There are no advertisers to be satisfied, only an audience to be satisfied.
We take our responsibility as journalists very seriously. We are constantly thinking about our viewers and what they care about.
We want to let you know what the information is, and then you decide what you want to think.
At the News Hour, we are after the facts and only the facts.
You've always known you were a leader, someone who works hard to achieve your goals. You can see it. You can see your success in front of you. You pursue a college education for the old-fashioned reasons, to learn, to make yourself more valuable, to succeed. You need a place that celebrates your ambition and positions you alongside visionary people just like you. You, my friend, belong here, the University of Nebraska at Omaha.
UNO-TV invites you to take a journey. a journey around the world, to lush jungles with endangered species, to exotic lands and different cultures, to lost cities beneath the sands. Travel through time to see ancient secrets on the other side of the world, the growth of the American West, or the start of Nebraska's largest city. Or just explore our state. Find out about Nebraska in World War II. Learn how Omaha has grown since. Discover the effort to renovate its green spaces, the history of one of its most impressive buildings, or look at its internationally recognized university. For over 20 years, UNO-TV has produced award-winning documentaries that explore, educate, and enlighten. To find out more, call 402-554-2516 or visit unotv.unomaha.edu.
You're watching the Omaha News.
With the mayoral primaries around the corner, it is hard to remember that not too long ago, women were not allowed to vote. One Omaha museum gives us a chance to learn more about the past. Marie Henusek reports.
It's astounding.
There were audible gasps when I told them that she was arrested for voting.
A reminder of the past.
Achievements that women have made throughout the last 100 years.
And a lot of it happened right here.
We as Westerners really did a lot out here, for this movement, for this social reform movement.
One of the newest exhibits at the Durham Western Heritage Museum features one of the most important milestones in women's history, suffrage.
This is what Susan B. Anthony did for more than 60 years. She saw some things going on in the world that didn't seem right to her, that didn't seem just, and so she just put her heart and soul into making things better.
What many people don't realize is that some of the most influential women in the suffrage movement were from right here in Nebraska.
Historians really consider that one of the most important suffrage newspapers during the movement's life was the Women's Tribune. That was Clara Colby from Beatrice, Nebraska.
The exhibit is a chance to understand just how far we've come.
When you look at those women, it inspires you.
I'm sorry, your vote doesn't count.
The exhibit is intended to celebrate women of the past and empower women for the future. For the Omaha News, I'm Marie Henusek.
The We Want the Vote exhibit will be on display until May 26th. For more information, call 402-444-5071.
Next week will mark the 100-year anniversary of the worst tornado ever recorded to strike Omaha. Reporter Kevin Grace is in the newsroom with more. Kevin?
Thanks, Ernest. The Douglas County Historical Society assembled a panel of experts to discuss the storm last Sunday, including one Ivy League scholar who came all the way in from New York.
I had never really thought about weather having a historical angle to it before.
That angle is what brought Catherine Biba, a doctoral candidate from Cornell University, into Omaha last weekend. She's writing her dissertation on the deadly tornado that killed around 170 people in the Omaha area on Easter Sunday in 1913.
It was completely devastating to everyone.
The tornado of 1913 was tragic, but the people of Omaha were resilient, and it's no surprise at how quickly the city bounced back. It's also no surprise that 100 years later, when a panel gets together to discuss extreme weather in Nebraska, there's a blizzard in March.
I've been with the Historical Society for a little over a year now.
Cassandra Novotny of the Douglas County Historical Society helped organize the second Sunday lecture series and feels Catherine's studies bring a unique perspective on the 1913 tornadoes.
And she's taking the perspective of what the business community's response to it, what was the first aid response to it, what was the community's response.
They rejected an offer of federal aid, which is so unthinkable in something today, like where FEMA is and how it's doing is such a big deal. So things like that are really interesting, and I think that they can tell us something about how views of the federal government have kind of changed.
The Historical Society holds their second Sunday lecture series every month. For more information, you can check out their website at omahahistory.org.
Kevin, can you put the storm into context with the tornado of 1975?
Sure. The tornado of 1975 struck the metro area in early May and killed 3 people. while the death count of the 1913 tornado is close to 175 people. The experts on the panel attributed that to the difference to the amount of technology and early warning techniques that developed over the 52 years between storms. Ernest?
Thanks, Kevin.
With recent approval to renovate the Nebraska Crossing Outlet Mall, another mall gets a green light to redevelop, but this one's a bit different. The Gene Leahy Mall will be soon closed to the public in downtown Omaha as the city begins to put up a fence for reconstruction. Due to the appearance of foul smell and water quality, the lagoon will be drained and renovations will start within the next few weeks. The total cost of the project is close to $2 million and will expect to take around 6 to 8 months to complete.
Coming up after the break, we'll show you how to prep your lawn after this last snowfall finally melts away.
Also, reporter Jiajing Liu tells us just what soon-to-be graduates are planning to do in a few months and how the job market is looking towards the end of this semester. You're watching the Omaha News.
Something wasn't right.
Were they lying to the public?
There was a bigger story here than just a plane crash.
It's become the symbol of everything that's wrong with the industry.
My kid got 6 vaccines in one day and he regressed.
Not only are those children who aren't vaccinated at risk, but those who can't be vaccinated are at risk.
Nobody really knew what was going on. What was it in this market that had to be hidden?
I spent millions of dollars in cash, bribing government officials.
People in power do not like the investigation to come too close to them.
You never hear these stories.
Tuesdays on NET1.
NET Television expands your mind, enlightens your mind, inspires your mind, educates your mind, entertains your mind. NET Television opens up new worlds to you. Explore, travel, learn, discuss, debate. NET Television keeps you informed. Music, theater, dance, art, news. NET Television awakens your dreams, seeks to serve, strengthens our communities. We are Nebraskans. We are NET Television, Nebraska's PBS station.
You're watching the Omaha News.
Welcome back to the Omaha News. I'm Katie Wagner.
And I'm Ernest Powell. With springtime around the corner, there will be many homeowners that are ready to work in their yards. I went out to a local hardware store to get tips on how to improve your yard. All right, so I got Tammy here. So Tammy, what do you know about spring readiness to get your lawn prepped for spring?
Not a whole lot.
Once the snow is gone, people head out to their local hardware stores to get items to get their yards back in shape. You can get mulch to plant around your flower beds, shrubs, and trees to keep the dirt down and to improve the overall look. But as I found out from Mike Novak, you have to take lawn care one step at a time.
Well, this time of year, probably within the next month, you're going to want to put down a fertilizer, which this is Scott's Turf Builder. It's going to green up your yard. It's going to go ahead and feed the grass. This is your first step to the beginning of the year.
It is also important to pick out the right trimmer, rake, and lawnmower to best fit your yard and your budget.
Well, the first thing to think about is, are you going to bag it? Are you going to mulch? A lot of these mowers will either be set up where with bags so that you can bag or pick up your grass. Some people would rather mulch and actually have the grass go back into your lawn, and it actually helps feed it.
For homeowner Tammy Wilcox, the process of buying the right item is a big one.
First time home buyer, and I thought about buying this, but I don't know. I might want to live a little bit longer.
Talking to lawn and garden specialists, they say that even though temperatures right now are above freezing, you have to keep in mind that there is a chance in late March or early April we could see one more frost, which could ruin everything that you started so far. There are a variety of watering items, solutions to kill weeds, and grass seeds to choose from, so it's also a good idea to ask the salesperson to make sure that you get the right one for your yard. You can check with your local hardware store and nursery, as some will offer free clinics on how to help you improve your lawn.
Graduation is coming. With the competitive job market, some students may be taking a look into graduate school. Reporter Jiajing Liu has more on the story.
Joe Noonan has a big question to answer.
What's your degree going to be in? Environmental studies.
No, not that one. With college graduation nearly upon us, two questions are running through the minds of nearly every graduate. Should I get a job or go to graduate school?
Mostly I just wanted a break from college and from classes and ready to be out in the job field a little bit.
Joe Noonan, a junior student studying at UNO, is already preparing for the job hunt after graduation.
I was just kind of window shopping, I guess you could say, to see what's available and see if anything could fill in my empty space.
However, many positions require a master's degree or higher degree to get in.
Some of our positions would require that you have a certain degree.
Student Giovanni Consolino is hoping to go to graduate school after graduation, despite the tough competition.
I'm not really convinced what I want to do for my career, but I know that doing a master's degree will help me through the choice of getting me to land my future job.
UNO School of Communication Internship Coordinator Hugh Riley encourages students to get more internships before making a decision.
Now it comes down to personal choice. Are you tired of school? Do you want a break from school? Do you feel like I need to give my brain a rest and I need to get some experience? But you figure grad school, and even in grad school, you're probably going to be working, at least part-time. So it gets you a chance to work in the field in which you want to work. And it also gets you a chance to introduce yourself and your skills to a potential employer.
If you don't know if you need to get a job or go to graduate school, talk to your advisor who can give you more suggestions.
Following the break, we'll show you how a child's toy can be used to create wonderful works of art while still being educational.
We'll also show you old and new fads for couples running to the chapel that might make their mouths water. You're watching the Omaha News.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you want to go above.
It was something new.
Or reach beyond.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
When you want to peer inside.
There's something wrong here. This isn't normal.
It would seem almost impossible. Or push the limit.
Large tornado! It's humongous! You need to get out now!
When you want to dive deep.
These divers are like astronauts.
Our human nature is to push into places that we don't know about.
Or go to the edge.
There are other worlds out there.
We don't know exactly what we're going to find.
When you want to find new frontiers.
I was truly astonished.
You just don't ever know.
Nova.
Wednesdays on NET1.
Most local television news only gives you brief headlines about issues that may be important to you. But for more than 10 years, only one program has remained dedicated to examining all the information about issues that really matter to Nebraskans. I'm Kathy Wyatt, and it's my privilege to present those issues for your consideration. Join me on the campus of UNO in a program we call Consider This, every week on NET1.
Spring break is closing in, and many families are looking for activities in the metro area that will keep their kids learning. Laura Harrahill has more on something that families can do that everyone will enjoy.
You may not be able to find bison grazing about in Omaha, but inside the Lauritsen Gardens, you'll find something close to the real thing.
Look it up there!
Lauritsen Gardens are showing sculptures made from Legos created by Sean Kenny, a professional Lego sculptor based in New York.
With 14 displays and over 500,000 Legos used, Lauritsen Gardens are trying to build a connection between nature and fun.
From showing the food chain between rabbits and foxes to plants and bugs that you can find in your own backyard. Mia Jenkins, Lauritsen Gardens marketing director, says that using Legos to teach about nature is great because it's a toy we all connect to.
Each sculpture has a message, an interpretive message behind it, where it is an amazing piece that's so relatable for people because it's built with toys that they know and love.
Though even the Lego enthusiasts visiting the sculptures doubt they could ever create displays like these.
Absolutely not. I think it's really cool. I would join in maybe building, but never would really actually do anything myself.
For the Omaha News, I'm Lauren Harahill.
The Lego sculptures will be on display in the gardens until May 19th and are included with general admissions into the garden.
The dress, shoes, invites, the reception hall, weddings call for a lot of time, effort, and planning. Wedding cakes have been years in the making, with trends that come and go from year to year.
I forgot the colors.
Dustin and Julie Biles are taking a look back at what type of wedding cake they had almost 11 years ago.
It was layered. I think there was 2 layers, and it was a circle, a big circle, one big circle cake.
The Biles had a small wedding with about 75 people in attendance, which is why they decided to order a small wedding cake. And as wedding cakes change from year to year, one thing remains the same. Couples like their cake. Wedding cake designer Naomi Huerta works to satisfy the trendy cake desires of engaged couples.
Usually when a magazine like The Knot or something like that comes out with a certain trend, a lot of brides do tend to follow suit.
Cupcake towers were a hot item last year for brides. However,
for this year, a lot of people are getting smaller, more cute cakes that they can put on like cute little pedestals, and then they're getting sheet cakes to serve the majority of the guests.
Naomi says the design trends for this year are sleek and clean, with ribbon around the bottom of the layers, or vintage.
Usually what it means is the more traditional cakes with the pillars and the fountains and the heavy piping work on the side, a lot of string work. And more like they're wanting to replicate their mother's wedding cake.
Naomi suggests that couples begin looking 6 to 8 months prior to the date and book with the bakery 3 to 4 months out.
Thanks for tuning into the program today. If you're looking for more, check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/The Omaha News.
While you're there, you can check out the news stories our reporters covered, submit story ideas, or give us feedback. We'd love to hear from you. From all of us here at the Omaha News and the UNO Television, good night.
UNO Television gives students a chance to work in a real studio. Working on the TV crew, students get hands-on experience with lights, camera, and action. Working on a variety of shows gives students a leg up looking for jobs. In fact, many former crew members work at local stations. It's a once-in-a-lifetime experience for students to learn the science and art of TV production. UNO TV, student crew, professional staff, award-winning results.
When will you look deep into space? When will you travel back in time? When will you experience the power of red? When? Anytime. Online at video.netnebraska.org. Search, select, and share with the NET Video Player. Watch our shows on your schedule.
What if there were a neighborhood where every child felt they belonged, and a big dog helped them stay little a little longer? A monkey helped them find the wonder in every little thing, and a flightless bird showed them how to soar. Support the people and programs that never stop asking, what if?